What's really coming through for me is I think part of the magic of Coldstream is that you have this innate ability to bring the right people together at the right time. And in addition to being obsessed with financial advisors and the impact that advisors have on the lives of the clients that they serve, I'm also a total nerd as it relates to founders. I read autobiographies of famous founders. I listen to podcasts. I like follow these founders that I become really obsessed with how they've built these businesses. And there's a lot of different ways to be a successful founder. And some people don't go the route of needing to have that magical capability of bringing the right people together. You know, they take a different approach to how they build their business. But what I'm learning in this conversation about Coldstream, my observation from this conversation is that that's part of your magic, is that you are able to bring the right people together. I've seen other firms try to take the same approach of bringing in, acquiring, or merging with other entrepreneurs who have built successful businesses that love being an entrepreneur. And what happens is you end up having these businesses of what I would call like intrapreneurs, right? Like it can happen quite easily where you wake up in a few years and you don't have a shared vision and you don't have a strong culture. And the success of the firm is entirely built on the success of those intrapreneurs that came together, and they might share office space and they might share a brand name, but they actually don't share a vision. And it becomes incredibly difficult to scale organizations like that for all of the reasons that we know. And so that's something that I just find to be really fascinating, because I don't know, maybe you can tell me, like, can you learn to be this way? Can you train to be this way? Or do you all agree that this is just sort of like inherently who you are as people, that you're good at detecting the right types of relationships and the right types of people that can come together? Because I don't see it that often.
Well, everything you said there, I think we all can feel you relative to the tensions and struggles. But if I'd love to DC that, you hadn't talked for a bit to comment on this, but I think, I mean, we try, we're intentional, we're not perfect. And you look at the mergers that we've done, there's 8 of them in the last 5, 6 years, and almost everyone's still here. And more critically, the most senior people are still here, that we're absolutely critical to the success of the organization, or they've retired, and that was part of the, thesis of merging. Yeah, I think it has something to do with that, the intentionality, not having the pressures, and then, good luck. We're not so full of ourselves that we think we have most or all the answers, but it is timing, some good luck and good fortune. But DC, what do you think about that?
Like hearing this conversation and the questions makes me think there's a tie-in related to, it's sort of a calling card right now that Coldstream doesn't have a PE backer, and it's almost like a niche focus in that. 2 years ago, I could have had 15 term sheets in front of me, but not many of them would have been a firm that had similar values of servant leadership around how do I grow the people underneath me. And when I'm gone and retired and there's a whole nother level of leadership, we're giving them the same opportunity that we had. Any merger partner could say, just give me the highest bid, and not have that same concern around what's this going to be like for my junior team members, the people that put the blood, sweat, equity into building the thing. I want to put them in a place that they're going to be better for when I'm not here. I think that attracts and corrals the servant leader mindset. And if you have that, your ego is not in the way, because you're thinking about the others around you. You're thinking about what happens 5 or 10 years from now, and what experience are your teams going to have. So I actually think it cuts through the noise, and you get to self-select with people that share this common view of how do you want to operate? How do you want to spend your time? Who do you want to spend that time with? So it's actually more organic than you're just doing deals. These are people and
Yeah.
relationships and authenticity.
Yeah, I cannot agree more. I mean, it's so right. I go back to that idea of, what's your priority stack? And I mean, this is going to sound probably maybe silly, but we just care about people. That's number one. If the dollars are number one, all right, Good to know you. Thank you. But if you care about people and want to create a good experience for them, beyond you, because, look, all of us get older and all of us retire at some point, that's great. It should be celebrated. But let's make sure we leave things better than the way we found it. I think I learned that from my mom and probably ticked her off a bunch of times for not doing that. So I've now learned later on in my life, like, let's really try to leave things better than we found it. What a great legacy. I just can't imagine anything more.
That's the Girl Scout way, Josh. Always leave a place
I was not
cleaner than
invited.
when
I
you
was not
found it.
invited to those meetings, so I did not go.